Hollywood is a place where dreams are born, but also where nightmares linger. The glitz and glamour often mask the shadows hiding in the corners of famous landmarks, and nowhere is this more evident than in the hotels where celebrities have stayed, partied, and sometimes even died. For decades, whispers of hauntings have followed certain Hollywood hotels, places where the echoes of the past refuse to fade, and where even the rich and famous admit to feeling the chill of something otherworldly. Tonight, we're peeling back the velvet curtain on Hollywood's most haunted hotels, the ones that celebrities still fear to this day. When you think of a haunted hotel, your mind might immediately leap to the Hollywood Roosevelt, perhaps the most famous ghostly hotspot in Los Angeles. Built in 1927, it quickly became the epicenter of Hollywood's golden age, a glamorous hub where stars like Clark Gable and Carole Lombard secretly rendezvoused, and where legends such as Charlie Chaplin and Marilyn Monroe stayed. But over time, the hotel built a reputation for something far darker. Guests have long reported seeing Monroe's ghost in the hotel's full-length mirror that once hung in her favorite suite, known as Room 1200. Staff claim the mirror was eventually removed because of the sheer number of frightened guests who insisted they'd seen her reflection lingering there, long after her death. There are also stories of cold spots, disembodied laughter echoing through the ballroom, and even a little ghostly boy named Billy, who is said to wander the halls. But Marilyn isn't the only star still tied to the Roosevelt. The spirit of Montgomery Clift, the Oscar-nominated actor, is said to haunt room 928, where he stayed while filming From Here to Eternity. Guests have reported the sensation of being watched, hearing trumpet music played softly from nowhere, and even seeing a full-bodied apparition of Clift himself pacing the hallways, endlessly rehearsing his lines. For a place so drenched in star power, the Roosevelt feels like it still belongs to its departed legends, stars forever tied to the building that once served as their playground. Yet the Roosevelt is just the beginning. Only a few miles away lies the Chateau Marmont, another Hollywood landmark with a reputation that drips with mystery. Known as the place where celebrities could hide from the paparazzi, the chateau has also been a site of tragedy. It was here, in 1982, that comedian John Belushi was found dead from a drug overdose in Bungalow 3. Since then, countless guests have claimed to feel his presence. Some describe laughter erupting in the middle of the night. Others report the strange feeling of someone sitting on their bed, though no one is there. Even actor Dan Aykroyd once admitted that he felt Belushi's spirit hanging around him in the years after his death, particularly while working on Ghostbusters. It's as if Belushi never left, still partying and joking within the chateau's ivy-covered walls. The Chateau Marmont is also rumored to house other spirits, less famous but equally unsettling. Staff have whispered about lights turning on and off by themselves, shadows moving across walls, and cold breezes rushing through hallways with no logical explanation. Perhaps it's the weight of secrets the chateau has always carried. After all, this is the hotel where countless Hollywood affairs, scandals, and meltdowns played out away from the cameras. For some, that energy doesn't just fade, it imprints itself onto the very walls, leaving behind an atmosphere heavy with history and unease. Moving further into Hollywood's haunted map, we find the Knickerbocker Hotel. Once a glamorous hotspot in the 1930s and 40s, the Knickerbocker is now mostly converted into senior housing. But back in its prime, it was the scene of some of Hollywood's darkest chapters. Silent film star Rudolph Valentino, famous for his smoldering looks and untimely death at just 31, is said to linger here. His ghost has reportedly been spotted in the bar area, still basking in the attention he craved in life. Actress Frances Farmer, who was infamously institutionalized after a series of breakdowns, is also rumored to haunt the building. But the most chilling story tied to the Knickerbocker involves D.W. Griffith, one of Hollywood's earliest and most controversial directors. Griffith died alone in a room at the hotel in 1948, his career in ruins. And many say his bitter spirit never left. Residents and visitors have claimed to see his apparition wandering the halls, mumbling to himself. Adding to the hotel's dark legend is the tragic story of film costume designer Irene, who jumped to her death from the 11th floor in 1962. To this day, People say they feel an inexplicable heaviness when walking near that part of the building, as though the walls themselves still remember the tragedy. Another hotel that sends shivers down the spines of both tourists and celebrities is the Millennium Biltmore in downtown Los Angeles. Built in 1923, the Biltmore exudes old-world luxury. But beneath its ornate ceilings and grand ballrooms lies a darker story. It was here that Elizabeth Short, better known as the Black Dahlia, was last seen alive in 1947 before her grisly, unsolved murder. Guests report seeing a woman matching her description wandering the hallways, her ghostly figure often vanishing around corners. Others describe strange phone calls, whispers in empty rooms, and the unnerving feeling of being watched. The Biltmore's hauntings aren't limited to the Black Dahlia, though. Staff and guests alike have reported ghostly children running through the hallways, shadows darting in and out of rooms, and elevators that seem to move between floors with no one inside. Even celebrities who have stayed at the Biltmore have confessed to feeling a certain unease, as though the hotel itself holds onto the restless energy of all who pass through it. And then there's the Hollywood Knickerbocker's close cousin in darkness, the Cecil Hotel, now rebranded as Stay on Main. Though technically on the edge of downtown, its reputation as one of the most haunted and infamous hotels in Los Angeles makes it impossible to leave off this list. The Cecil has been tied to suicides, murders, and even serial killers like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, who reportedly lived there during his reign of terror. More recently, it became infamous after the mysterious 2013 death of Elisa Lam, whose body was found in a water tank on the hotel's roof after security footage showed her behaving strangely in an elevator. For years, celebrities avoided the Cecil. And even today, despite rebranding efforts, its reputation lingers. Paranormal investigators claim the building is soaked in negative energy, describing shadows moving across walls, lights flickering, and an overwhelming sense of dread. It's the kind of place that even seasoned Hollywood stars wouldn't want to spend a night in, especially if they knew its history. But what is it about these hotels that keeps spirits tethered to them? Some paranormal experts suggest it's the intense energy of Hollywood itself, the ambition, the desperation, the fame, and the heartbreak that leaves an imprint. Hotels are places of transition, of arrivals and departures, of beginnings and endings. Combine that with the heightened emotions of celebrities who've experienced their greatest highs and lowest lows within these walls. And perhaps it's no surprise that many never truly leave. Even modern celebrities have admitted to feeling unsettled in these places. Some refuse to stay in certain rooms at the Roosevelt or the Biltmore, while others request different accommodations after encountering something they can't explain. There's a strange duality here. These hotels remain glamorous landmarks, attracting tourists and celebrities alike, yet behind the velvet ropes and glittering chandeliers lies a darker truth, that the past never truly dies in Hollywood. The stories of haunted hotels are not just ghost tales told to scare tourists. They are reminders of Hollywood's fragile underbelly, the side of fame that often ends in tragedy, heartbreak, and lives cut short. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the lights, every whispered laugh in an empty hallway reminds us that the glamour of Hollywood has always been intertwined with darkness. So, the next time you find yourself in Los Angeles, gazing up at the historic hotels where stars once lived and died, ask yourself, would you dare to spend the night? Because for all the celebrities who still fear these haunted places, the truth is clear. Hollywood's ghosts are never far away, and some of them are waiting for their next visitor.